Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we wanted to go over Evolve, episode 22, I believe. Still just kind of insane that we've already gone a third of the year of episodes. So, this one is, again, this is the perfect formula type episode. Even if like the matches and segments are not that great, but which we'll get into, this is the perfect thing. Two promos, three matches, it works out. There's also a little bit of other backstage stuff that they had, just like tidbits, but we'll get into it. So let's start off. We had Bryce Donovan versus Marcus Mathers. I keep wanting to call him Marshall Mathers, like Eminem, even though it's not the same, but it feels like it's kind of purpose to be that way. Um, Honestly, this match I think was still pretty solid. Marcus Mathers has a really good move set on top of Bryce Donovan's having strength and a little bit of mobility. It really did gel pretty well. I do feel like they could have maybe not really had the like kind of interference chirping on the outside. I know it's like a heel faction and it's fine, but sometimes when you want somebody to look a little bit more dominant, just let them be dominant. I know they're also trying to protect Marcus a little bit, but like still, it's just like that match could have felt a little bit better if they would have just let Bryce kind of win clean, even if it was just a hard fought match, because the match itself looked good. So I'm putting it a solid B. It was a really good match to start off the show compared to some of the other times that they have this, but I think it was pretty solid. Then we go into our first kind of segment. Callie Armstrong wanted to come down there and called out Jintala because Jintala had been attacking somebody or attacking a lot of people. And instead of Jintala coming down, we had Tyra May still being like, "You can't just avoid me. I'm the one that does everything. I'm the one that won LFG." Basically, Callie saying, "Who cares about that?" And honestly, that's kind of how most people kind of felt at this point because she's put down to evolve. But hopefully, she gets better here, and then Jintala eventually coming down, demanding a title match, which will be next week. Which I feel two ways about because I do believe it's probably just going to be like a DQ of Tyra May still coming down. But if they actually let them wrestle, I think it might be a pretty solid match because Callie Armstrong will have the better title reign if they let her have matches like this. And because I feel like the best thing is to have her beat Gintala, but like not clean. That then Gintala can demand a rematch, and then they add Tyra May Steel to make a triple threat to make that entire rivalry. I see the vision that they're doing here, and I like it. So I'm gonna put this up in S tier. I thought the promo was good. Obviously, some of the talking is not the greatest, but this is what the developmental is going to be. I don't really expect a ton. I mean, as long as you can just deliver it, it's going to happen. The crowd definitely was not into it, but that kind of happens sometimes because the Evolve crowd is kind of like an indie show stuff. Like sometimes they're really into it, sometimes they're really not, and it just kind of depends on the day that they're there. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Next up, we had Jamar Hampton versus Jack Cartwell. Hey, Jack Cartwell is probably my favorite wrestler on the Evolve roster, especially on the men's side. He just can do no wrong. Him and Cappuccino Jones are just like neck and neck with that, and obviously they're part of a tag team. We need a tag team division because we already have Vanity Project. We have them. Like they could put some other teams together, and it gets way more people on the card, and it looks nice. But let's get back to the match. Jack Cartwell did amazing here. He kind of played the whole like doing what he does every single time out there. Jamar Hampton looked pretty decent. Obviously, he's had some struggles. He came from LFG. He didn't win that, but he's shown a lot of growth, and I think he's actually showing a better progression than any of the people that have gone in the show. Like, because obviously, like I think Jasper Troy's had the best like go of it because he's had a title shot and multiple title shots, and like he's in big feuds in NXT, so obviously he has the best. Tyra still obviously only got one NXT match and now is on Evolve and hasn't. I think she's had one match, so not great. Jamar Hampton's had a couple Evolve matches. They've been pretty good. Gintala's been pretty good, but I think Jamar Hampton's in that sweet spot. He did really well here. I thought everything that he's kind of struggled in, he's done better. I think obviously his big thing is going to be to try to conquer the mic. They kind of had him in a little bit of a promo backstage, and Chewy Martinez, the little backstage reporter, really didn't help him out that much, and it kind of was just because they had Skull. I don't know why Skull's there. I absolutely think it's one of the worst gimmick thing that they have on their entire roster. But I go back to the match. I thought it was a pretty phenomenal match. I'll put it in a solid A. It was up there as being a really fun match. Like I said, there was still a little bit of green here and there, but they made the right call. Let Jack Carwell win. He looked phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what's next. I guess Jamar Hampton versus Idskull, I think, is probably the next thing. I think that's fine. I don't think it really matters. Then we had a Zara Zacher promo. I don't think she's been that bad with the promos, and she's had some solid wins. I don't think she's, it's like weird because I don't think she's like in the top five of the women. Not that she doesn't deserve to be, but she's just not in that talk. It's a thing that like a lot of the women's divisions have in WWE. It's just they aren't well managed, even though they have so much talent sometimes, that like stuff like this happens. Because Zara Zacher should be a top five talent, or should at least be up in there doing some major stuff. But set to a promo wasn't always the greatest thing. I mean, we haven't had a match. She's had a couple matches, but not enough that I think that she should be having, because she is an ID talent. She's in the ID talent showcase. There's a lot of stuff that she should be used for. I'll put this in solid B. It wasn't anything too crazy. She went there, said her thing, and hopefully we get a match from her soon. The only problem I have with their promos, and it's kind of a small thing, because the first promo followed it perfectly, the second promo did not. If you have the promo, it should set up the match for next week. So the obviously we'll have Gintala versus Callie Armstrong for the title next week, but the other match, which was the Carly Bright Wendy Cho matches next week, should have been set up on this show, and then if they're going to use Zara Zacher for the show afterwards, then they should, like they should do it so you're keep in mind if you think and see a character and then 2 episodes down, which is 2 weeks of time, it's kind of like, what are they doing? I don't know. Maybe it's short-term memory loss, but there's a big giant fan of wrestling and a lot of wrestling shows that you kind of have to stand out. And when you kind of give yourself some time to forget the person, it kind of sucks for them. Then we had the main event. It was Kiana Carver versus Super Sean Legacy. Obviously, I think Sean Legacy is probably the most ready to just be on the NXT roster. I really do kind of feel like it was a 50-50 thing here of what to do. Because if I felt like if you let Sean Legacy win, they should have put him into the NXT roster. And if he loses, you kind of have to leave him down here to eventually slay the beast as Kiana Carver. Because Carver should then, now that he won, go after more of the ID program, do that type of stuff, because that seems to be his whole gimmick and motivation. I'm cool with it. It's a cool premise. It should give us eventually somebody being able to stand up against him. But I felt like running this match was a little too soon, and it was a pretty decent match. It showed, longevity of Shawn Legacy getting dominated, but him coming back and fighting through a lot of this stuff and a lot of good things. It was kind of one of those well scripted matches where it felt like the ups and downs, and you were on every high and low from it. So just in that, I'm gonna have to put this in at a solid A. I'll put the whole show, honestly, I'd put it in the A. I know I got a little bit in the B, but honestly, that stuff that's there, it's so small and it's not that big of a deal that I still enjoyed it. I think it was one of the more enjoyable episodes that we've had in the entire 22 episode run so far. There's been a few that I can definitely say like are really, really good. This one, I feel like if you haven't started Evolve or want to give Evolve a try, this would be a good one to do. It doesn't, it has some story being built. It's showing a bunch of different stuff, and I think they did the perfect formula. 2 promos, 3 matches, that's it. And that's pretty much what you can do. You can do 3 promos if you do them small enough, but I feel like this is the perfect thing because it works out so good for this runtime. And obviously all the matches got a good amount of shake to make a good match. So that's what I also like about it. But until next time, this has been Japan. I cover all Evolve, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and yeah, a lot of the and all the PLEs and stuff. So if you're wanting to watch SummerSlam stuff, I got a bunch of content on here in its own playlist. So if you enjoy that, go check it out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.